Welcome back to Exotic Wine Travel. I am your host, Matthew Horkey. So we're here talking about Hungarian wines again, another Hungarian wine video. And there was one place that Shuri and I both really wanted to see when we came to Hungary. And it's the legendary Tokaj wine region. So for those of you who don't know, actually in the past, we're talking about a couple hundred years ago, the most renowned wine regions in the world were really actually France, Germany, actually for the Moselle, the Rieslings, and Hungary, actually, for its sweet Tokaj. And during the communist period in Hungary, those wines kind of lost quality. But in the 90s, when Hungary became independent, the quality started rising and a lot of private investment came into the region, some from abroad, and to revive Tokaj wines. So what is Tokaj? Tokaj is a naturally sweet wine made from botrytized or noble rot grapes.
This one has enough sugar to use it for sweet wine.
Can be very sweet but very acidic, so it still feels fresh. Shireen is a big fan of Sauternes, especially Chateau d'Yquem, and she said, "Can I find the Hungarian Chateau d'Yquem, the best one?" So that's what we went to see. We stayed there for 2 days, and when we came in on the train, I have to say we came from Budapest to Eger, and then Eger to Tokaj. And the first thing that we noticed when we went to Tokaj, Tokaj is beautiful. It is just a beautiful wine region. It's actually spread out. It goes in kind of a northeast direction, and a little bit of it actually goes into Slovakia. There's Slovak Tokaj as well. Vineyards all over the place. There's 27 wine villages in Tokaj. There's over 5,000 hectares of vineyards. It's pretty large. And you can see it looks like, it just feels romantic. It looks like a true old world wine region. Vines, rolling hills, small quaint villages. Beautiful place. The first winery we actually visited was a new one called Holdvölgy. And it's a huge facility. It's owned by a lawyer that lives, actually a Hungarian guy, lives in Budapest. And what they did is they bought in the town of Mad, one of the most famous villages in Tokaj, a long row of old family cellars. And so these cellars down are like hundreds of years old. We went through a tour. The cool thing is, if you go for a wine visit there, they have over 2 kilometers, I think, of cellars down there, and they put different wines in different places, and you have to find your way through the maze of cellars, which is pretty cool. We didn't do that. We were guided through that on a private tour. And then the winery is quite modern. And before you say, "Oh no, modern Tokaj," most of the Tokaj and the high quality is modern because of the investment that came into the region in the 90s. They had some beautiful wines. Some of my personal favorites actually were some of their single vineyard dry ferments, and when they had a dry Hashevelu. They also made a sweet Tokaj made out of the local grape Zeta, which I really liked. And then we did a vertical tasting of their high-end 6 Petunias Tokaj. And it was awesome. I think we tasted 2006 to 2013. Some of those wines are not yet released on the market. I thought the quality was outstanding. It was a very memorable visit, a great introduction to the region. So after that, we actually went to Pule Borház, which means Pule Wine House or Winery. We actually had accommodation there. It was provided by Mr. Peter Hudak, the owner of Paulay, so I'm going to thank you for that. Other than that, this video has not been paid for in any way. It's just a little disclaimer, but we did get to stay there for free. He also makes some wines, very small production, about 3,000 bottles per year. And some of the wines were a little bit rustic, but also experimental. He uses a lot of indigenous native yeast. I personally liked a dry ferment he had that was unfiltered. And he also makes some asu, sweet wines from Tokaj. And those wines were really fresh, really easy to drink. So if you're with somebody, they don't want tons of complexity, they just want more fruit, sweetness, and acidity, and more of a citrus finish, those wines are definitely something to look out for. The next day was the day I was looking forward to the most. We went to Oremus.
We are entering to the village of Tolcsva, where Oremus is located.
Oremus is owned by Vega Sicilia, the famous winery in Spain, by the Alvarez family, and we had a spectacular tasting. It's in the village of Tolcsva, I think I'm pronouncing that right. So it's north of the Tokaj village, north of Mad, and beautiful place. First of all, Oremus did a great job with their marketing, labels, everything like that. The facilities are beautiful. They also bought old family cellars and then put them together, so their cellars are awesome. And when they bought the facility in the early to mid 90s, there was still some wine in the cellar, in the barrels that the communists actually made. We got to taste, we got to taste a couple. We just got to taste a 56 and a 1972 sweet Tokaj wine, 6 Petuños, really sweet. Or actually, I think those were 5 Petuños. 56 was okay. It was enjoyable, but I wouldn't really want to drink it. The 72 was actually beautiful for how old it was. After our visit, it was so cool because we had come just after the harvest. We got to see some of the botrytized small berries actually start the fermentation and the maceration process. We got to taste some of the fresh juice. And then when we did the tasting, it was incredible. We also got to taste the Oremus Essencia, the highest level of Tokaj, 500 grams of residual sugar, only 3% alcohol. And I have to admit, when I tasted it, it tasted a lot like wine. Like, I thought that it wouldn't taste like wine at all. It tasted a lot more like wine than I thought. Shireen said, that is the wine. That is the wine that maybe came close to her Chateau d'Yquem. We really enjoyed the visit, so thanks to Oremus. Thanks to our friend Milan, who imports wines into Switzerland and Belgrade, Serbia, for hooking us up with the visit. The last visit of the day, we went to Hetszolo. And Hetszolo is actually owned by the family that owns the famous Chateau Cos d'Estornel in Bordeaux. Their wines were also very good. You know, I like them a lot, especially the 6 Petuños wines. Sweet, nutty, had beautiful citrus flavor, and Tokaj has this fieriness. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's almost the sensation you get when swallowing. They also have some of the most beautiful vineyards in the village of Tokaj, south-facing, really steep, and it's cool. They actually own the vineyard. When you come into the region, there's a big sign in one of the vineyards that says Tokaj, and they own that vineyard. It's really fantastic. They actually started planting again, reviving some old vineyards, planting them in traditional gobelet or bush vine style vines. So we also ate a great tasting there. It was awesome. My final thoughts on Tokaj. What did I think? The wines were outstanding lately. I don't know. I've really been getting into sweet wines. Actually, maybe after we went to taste Commandaria in Cyprus, I started to get into sweet wines a lot more. Tokaj to me, I really enjoy. I enjoy how the acidity, the fieriness that they give. You know, it's mostly made of ferment and Harsevalu and some other grapes as well. Their Tokaj is old volcanoes, volcanic soil. You get some beautiful minerality. And I actually found that I really like, let me see if I can pronounce the type of Tokaj right. Cimarrodny wine. Am I pronouncing that right? Cimarrodny, I had to ask Shireen. Actually, what those wines are, so when you make sweet Tokaj, you take a base wine and you take the concentrated botrytized grapes and you macerate and re-ferment them together. But Cimarrodny is actually all the grapes. You pick all the grapes. Some might have botrytis, some might not, and then you just ferment and make a sweet wine. So it's a little more basic. Those wines are made for the local market, so they're a little bit less expensive. But I think the quality is really high, and I enjoy drinking them. I thought they were beautiful. Of course, the high-level Tokaj, the 5, 6 Petuños, and the Essencia, those are the highest level, really sweet, complex wines, are the most expensive. Those are hard to beat. But thanks a lot to all the visits. I want to thank Wine Sofa and Wine Amore Travel for setting up the visits, and Pule Borház for the accommodation for one night. Thank you so much. So guys, I will put all our tasting notes in the description box below. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Exotic Wine Travel. I will see you at the next episode.